Good afternoon, everyone. Faye Lawand here with you, New Zealand's trusted internal conflict resolution expert. Today, I want to talk to you about how stress really came to my aid and was really a support in getting something really important done and providing me with all the resources of focus, productivity, peak performance, and energy. So I was called upon to deliver an online live relaxation session to a large corporate setting here in Auckland, to one of the largest telecommunication providers here in the city. And for me, this was a big deal. This is my first time delivering to a large audience behind a screen. I'm very proficient in delivering trainings one-on-one and in smaller groups, but I had never really done it using this platform and to a large unknown audience. Especially a corporate audience. And one of the things I've been working on in my business is to make these teachings and these practices and my signature programs more available to larger groups and also to corporate audiences in order to spread the impact of these practices for resilience and well-being. And so from the morning, I woke up like feeling the stress, like I felt it in my body. The stress hormones were like streaming through my body. We all know what stress is like, right? The heart was beating, the arms were feeling a little bit heavy, the hands were a little bit shaky, the mind was so alert and so sharp and so focused. And I knew what was going on. What was going on is, as because I'm mindful of it, and because I now know what I know about stress and the new science of stress that tells us that not all stress is bad for you, I was actually able to channel what was happening physiologically in order to place me in a psychological state that allowed me to really perform what I would like to think perform well and to deliver well for the client and for my audience, for my large audience, my large unknown audience. So my point in all of this is, you guys, the new science of stress tells us a couple of things that you need to keep in mind if you're serious about resilience and well-being. The first thing is that not all stress is bad for you, right? And I'll repeat that. Not all stress is bad for you. Yes, the type of stress from the fight, flight, freeze is bad for us because it kicks in and is triggered when there's a perception of fear and a perception of fear for our survival. And yes, that's the type of stress response that you don't want to overactivate and spend too much time there. Absolutely agreed. But the new science of stress also tells us that there are other stress responses that are actually not harmful at all, but very beneficial. One of them being the stress response that I experienced today, called the challenge response, which really helped me instead of harming me. And you think about the challenge response, we've all been in the challenge response. So the challenge response kicks in like in scenarios that I was talking about today, in work scenarios, but also think about like athletes, think about musicians, think about like any time you or someone you know, or in a movie that you've watched, that you're called upon to perform. Musicians, concert players, entertainers, tap into the challenge response in order to be able to deliver at peak and to be in a peak mental state for delivery, because there's a lot of fuel, those stress hormones that are secreted when you are in the challenge stress response, actually provide fuel for your brain that allows your brain focus and performance and energy and productivity. But the key to accessing those resources is to change your mindset around stress And the way to do that is to start relating to stress differently. And this is what my life's work is about these days, you guys. On my 7-step program, program to transforming stress, uniquely weaves in the new science of stress in order to empower professionals like yourself to change their thinking and their mindset around stress, because as they do, you're able to ward off the negative effects of stress and embrace and welcome in the very positive and empowering effects of the several stress responses. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I would love to hear from you about a time when the challenge response delivered for you the way that it did for me this morning. And I will be joining you again with more episodes to share with you more about these stress responses that allow you to transform stress and to go from internal conflict to unshakable resilience. Bye for now, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.